We've all been there. You really want to go to a concert, but the tickets are $1 jillion, so you settle for nosebleeds so you can still pay your rent and sing some of your favorite songs amongst other fans. Which is why concert movies are the best. The great thing about a concert movie is that it provides intimate looks at not only the performances, but usually what goes on behind the scenes as well. And there are a bunch of great concert movies out there, with Beyonce's much-anticipated Renaissance on the horizon and the latest Taylor Swift The Eras Tour, both hoping to join this list very soon after thrashing ticket pre-sale records. So my friends, stand up and get ready to fist pump. Just kidding, no one does that anymore. Sit down, Steve. As we bring you the best concert movies, all ranked by Tomato Meter right now on Rotten Tomatoes Countdown. Starting with numero 10, Rolling Thunder Revue, a Bob Dylan story by Martin Scorsese. Well, the title pretty much tells you what you need to know, but I will see what I can do to further explain. This 2019 film is actually a pseudo-documentary that includes the usual non-fictional stuff from a doc, but it also includes fictional interviews of actors playing different characters that weren't actually on the Dylan's Rolling Thunder Revue concert tour in 1975. And what was that tour all about? Well, we are gonna let Dylan tell you himself.
The idea was to put a tour up. Combination of different acts on the same stage for a variety of musical styles. I wouldn't say it was a traditional review, but it was in the traditional form of a review. That's all clumsy bullshit. You know, I'm trying to get to the core thing, to the core of what this Rolling Thunder thing is all about, and I don't have a clue.
Or maybe he can't tell you. But what I can say is that Scorsese's goal was to look back on the troubled spirit of America in 1975 while showcasing Dylan's more joyful music alongside it. And along with the real interviews from Dylan and other musicians like Joan Baez, some of the fictional interviews are actually performed by actors like Sharon Stone. And sure, the name of this is super long, but critics say that it, quote, lives up to its unwieldy title with a delightfully unorthodox look at a pivotal period in Dylan's career. I mean, listen, it's a pretty long title, but it's no Don't Be a Menace in South Central while drinking your juice in the hood, which is my favorite long movie title of all time. Okay, moving on. Number 9, Dave Chappelle's Block Party. So this 2005 film follows Dave Chappelle during the previous summer, culminating with him throwing a massive block party in the Clinton Hill neighborhood of Brooklyn in NYC. He brought out a bunch of great musical acts like Erykah Badu, The Roots, Jill Scott, Kanye, and Mos Def, and Lauryn Hill was actually there too to do some solo stuff, but after her label wouldn't release her music for the film, she went ahead and reunited with the Fugees instead and performed with them. One time. That was 2 times, but I was quoting the song. Sorry, because now I see that I'm killing you softly with this bad joke. I digress. The concert also featured comedy monologues and sketches from Chappelle in between acts, and, you know, him just riffing.
All right, fans, you ready? Hit me. Hit me 2 times. That's not how James Brown did it. His was crisp, decisive. I said, hit me. I was like, man. I gotta get that James Brown Hit me 2 times. That's better, 3 times. That's right. 2 from both nuts. That's right.
And while the stage saw its share of great talent, little did anyone know that a young J. Cole was in the audience taking all that in for inspiration before going on to become a big star himself. Pretty cool. Number 8, Springsteen on Broadway. This film looked to capture the intimate performance from the Boss's 236-show run at the Walter Kerr Theater on Broadway in 2017 and 2018. It features the man by himself, for the most part, on guitar and piano, playing songs from his career and telling stories from his 2016 autobiography, Born to Run. Now, Springsteen also brings out his wife, musician Patti Scialfa, for a couple songs, which is so sweet, for this show that earned over $113 million from those 236 performances.
One night, hanging out at Stone Pony, and this beautiful redhead shows up. She is a great songwriter. She's one of the loveliest voices I've ever heard. She is smart, tough, but fragile. Ladies and gentlemen, Patti Scialfa. Honey, I'm tougher. You name the things that'll give your life its meaning, its purpose, its fullness, its very reality. This is what you build together.
The movie was directed by Tom Zimmy, who had worked with Bruce on past projects, and also did a Johnny Cash documentary once too, so I gotta know, Tom, who do you like better, Cash or the boss? Number 7, Festival Express. This 2003 British film documents the train tour of the same name that took a bunch of North America's most famous rock bands across Canada for 3 shows back in 1970. Now, this choo-choo featured acts like Grateful Dead, Janis Joplin, The Band, and Buddy Guy. And if you're wondering how anyone got any sleep on something like that, the answer is they did not.
I couldn't keep up with them, man. They would party all night long, and I said, I gotta go to sleep, man. Every time I went to bed, I thought I was gonna miss something, and I said, well, I gotta go back again. And I wouldn't, as a matter of fact, I'd never just stay in the bed for an hour.
This train was not for sleeping. It was for a lot of other things, but not for sleeping. Very few people slept on this train.
Festival Express combines footage from the 1970 concerts in Toronto, Winnipeg, and Calgary with more contemporary recollections from some of those involved. The tour notoriously stopped through a small town on the way to Winnipeg, where they proceeded to buy up an entire liquor store's supply. I mean, I guess that's what was fueling some seriously cool train jam sessions with some of the most iconic musicians like ever. That's what I call locomotion. Number 6, Marley. This film uses archival performance footage along with interviews, both past and present, to look at the life and musical career of Bob Marley. And it's told throughout the eyes of some of the people who knew him best.
Just seated in Mount Zion, it rules all creation.
He had a passion. Everything I did with a ball, he would try to do it.
He just didn't play for the fun of it, you know. It was part of the process, you know. Because before he writes a song, you burn a spliff, then you go run so you can lively up yourself, and then you get more inspired so the lyrics can come out.
The project was supposed to come in 2010 to go with what would have been Marley's 65th birthday, but things were delayed while a couple of directors were attached and then unattached. Kind of sounds like my dating life. In Martin Scorsese and Jonathan Demme, 2 names that are elsewhere on this list too. Now, it ended up in the hands of Kevin MacDonald, who's also done docs for artists like Mick Jagger and Whitney Houston. And what he discovered is that there's pretty much 0 footage from the first 10 years of Bob Marley's performing career. I mean, can you imagine? It's like that one time I left my digital camera at a bar in Orlando during college. Tragic, I am still not over it. Either way, critics dug it, calling it, quote, an exhaustive, even-handed portrait of Bob with electrifying concert footage and fascinating insights. Friends, can you believe we've already made it halfway? It's kind of like an intermission, except I will be very sad if you leave. So finish up your bathroom and concession breaks and get back to your seats, my friends, because it is time for the top 5 best concert movies on Rotten Tomatoes Countdown. Here we go. Number 5, David Byrne's American Utopia. This 2020 concert movie was directed and produced by none other than Spike Lee, with David Byrne credited for the screenplay. So it's a live recording of a Broadway performance, which was adapted from the touring show that Byrne actually put together in support of his American Utopia album. So it is a recording of a show based on a tour that stems from an album. Got it. Stay with me here. It features songs from that album along with other big hits from Byrne's career as frontman of the Talking Heads.
Well, where is that large automobile? You may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful house. You may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful wife.
He performed alongside 11 other musicians who were all using wireless or portable equipment. And to take it one step further, everyone was wearing infrared transmitters so the lights could automatically track everyone as they moved around. Isn't that so cool? Number 4, The Last Waltz. This movie centers around the end of an epic career for Canadian roots rockers, The Band, after 17 years as a band. Now, they decided to hang it up with a big ol' farewell show, and they got Martin Scorsese to direct the filming of it. Epic. The concert was actually held at Winterland Ballroom in San Francisco on Thanksgiving Day in 1976, and listen to this. The audience of 5,000 was actually served turkey dinners starting at 5 p.m., and there were things like ballroom dancing and poetry readings that went on before the band took the stage at 9 p.m. I mean, this sounds like the greatest wedding of all time. And you know that they played all the hits, which is probably more than you would think. Throw them on your Spotify sometime, trust me, like this one.
Take a load off.
And they weren't the only ones to take the stage, considering the fact that all the guests that they brought on was like a who's who of rock gods. I mean, I'm talking Dylan, Clapton, Ringo, Joni, and the Neils, Young and Diamond. Like, what? The opening title card for The Last Waltz says, quote, "This film should be played loud," and honestly, that's great advice. Also, dream wedding guest list. Number 3, Homecoming, a film by Beyonce. Now, this concert movie gives an in-depth look at Beyonce's epic Coachella performance in 2018. Or as the critics' consensus simply put, Baychella forever. Now, it was written, executive produced, and directed by Beyonce herself, and follows the show from concept to unforgettable moment in time, and the emotional road that it took to get there, considering that Queen Bee was coming back from having kids and doubting herself.
And you know, a lot of the choreography is about feeling, so it's not as technical. It's your own personality that brings it to life. And that's hard when you don't feel like yourself. I had to rebuild my body from cut muscles. It took me a while to feel confident enough to freak in and give it my own personality.
Now, the performance includes 3 songs with her former Destiny's Child pals, Kelly Rowland and Michelle Williams, and her husband Jay-Z also makes an appearance, which is just epic. Now, the Grammy-winning film was the top music doc on Netflix in 2019, and it was also praised and honored by countless organizations and people. I mean, Michelle Obama even said the film could, quote, inspire the next generation of history makers and record breakers. And Sandra Oh called Homecoming viscerally inspiring during her toast at the Time 100 Gala. I mean, always remember, you have the same amount of hours in a day as Beyonce. Number 2, Amazing Grace. This film features Aretha Franklin performing gospel songs at the New Temple Missionary Baptist Church in LA, filmed over 2 consecutive nights in January of 1972. Now, along with the movie being number 2 on this list, aka it is beloved by many, the album that came from it became the highest-selling gospel album of all time. And I mean, just give it a listen. We've got to come together, because we need the strength, the power, and all of the feeling. While we hold The initial filming was shot under the direction of Sidney Pollack and includes Mick Jagger and his Stones bandmate Charlie Watts in the audience at one point, who happened to be in town to finish their album Exile on Main Street, which, like, God, I just love a good Hollywood story. Anyway, the footage didn't see the light of day until 2018 due to difficulties in synchronizing the audio and video. I mean, did they try unplugging and then plugging it back in? Just kidding. But alas, Amazing Grace made it to us, and oh, how sweet the sound. And finally, number 1, Stop Making Sense. This Talking Heads concert was filmed over 4 nights at Hollywood's Pantages Theater in December of 1983, while the band was touring in support of their album Speaking in Tongues, another one for the Spotify list. Now, frontman David Byrne goes from being alone on stage with nothing but a guitar to being joined by a full band and then some throughout the night, eventually dancing around in a big stew. I mean, you have to see this. Now, the band raised $1.2 million in budget themselves to pull the movie off, which contains some ultimately influential uses of early digital audio techniques, nerd speak for it was way ahead of its time. Director Jonathan Demme may be known for movies like Silence of the Lambs and Philadelphia, but he's also worked on music docs for artists like Neil Young and Justin Timberlake. And it's no wonder, because this one is 100% certified fresh on the Tomato Meter, with a consensus from critics that says it, quote, captures the energetic, unpredictable live act of peak Talking Heads with color and visual wit. And what I wouldn't give for a little more visual wit. Well, my friends, we rocked, we rolled, we belted out the 10 best concert movies. Keep your wristbands on for a while just to remember us by. For more on all these movies that we discussed today, be sure to hit up RottenTomatoes.com. Thanks for checking out today's list. Until next time, I am your official groupie, Naz Perez, and we'll see you back here for more Rotten Tomatoes Countdown.